So, it's a novelization of me, my experiences with Quentin Tarantino on the psychic frontier. The novel spans from February of 2021 through May of 2025. However, right, the book itself was only written between the second week of October until February of 2025. Right? So I ended up in LA. I ended up in New York first and then LA, just like it's in the book. And I wrote every day, right, until, right, his daughter was a whore and like all these things. And it was all a joke. Ha 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 ha. Got me good, yes. Like, oh, look how clever we are. We're using the mind to manipulate people, right? Right? What I'll say is that those pages are really good. They are. I don't care what anyone says. And I have to go back through them again, like I have to look at them in that critical, right? Like I'm the movie critic, like in a critical sort of eye. Right? Right? So if you look behind me, right, we have Ezekiel's wheel, which I'm turning into an oil painting. Aleph through Kaf, right? The first 11. And Aleph and Bet are a little ugly, right, because I tried to paint those. But I'll go back over them. Oil is very forgiving. Right? So, right, the Burbank International Film Festival supports spousal abuse. Right? Everyone that's on that committee, right, they all thought, oh, Quentin's cool. This is the guy who we need to lift up and venerate. They said that he's like a tempo, that he's they said all these graceful things about him, right? And so again, right, what I'm saying is that he's doing a career retrospective with Scott Feinberg from The Hollywood Reporter, right? And so while he's doing that, right, he's gonna be paying people, right, to make me suffer. That's why this channel exists. It doesn't exist for any other reason. To let the world know, right, that he has created a condition psychologically, right, where the both of us are all the way locked into each other's minds, right? There's nothing else, right? There's nothing to talk about there. That's what's occurred, right? Right? And so perhaps it's not just the two of us. That's like, right? That's, right? Daniela, who is Annabella in my novel, very beautiful. She's involved. I feel sure about that certainty as each day passes. They got married for a reason. He initiated her. He said, no, I'm not going to have a wife and not like show her the things that I do. Right? And she's, right? He's a director. He directs her. There's something there. I'm not going to say anything else about it because I do respect him. Right? So, right, it's a novelization about my experiences with Quentin Tarantino on the psychic frontier, right? He's thought it appropriate to torture me with a palpable evil that no court can ever try him on. Right, so we're talking about it on here, right? I suppose I'll stop, uplift your soul to God, see what's good in your life. Right? Know that life is not an accident. Life emerges from a divine intellectual principle, right? Not from a creature, right? And it behaves in the world in a particular way, right? Which we see manifested as motion and pressure. All instances of psychic phenomenon, everything that Quentin does in his spare time, right, as well as on those film sets of those films, right, is tapping into the non-locality of the conscious field, which perpetuates itself in every cubic centimeter of space in a condition of rest, always, right? So, right? Every instance of psychic phenomenon, of clairvoyance, of remote viewing, of telepathy, in particular of remote viewing, right, is the mind of the adept, right, locking into a disparate locale, right, and though I speculate, right, they're harmonizing the behavior of their subatomic structure, right, electrons, protons, etc., to the material that is in the disparate locale, right? That's what's actually happening. Nothing else has ever been occurring. That's what opens up the aperture, right? That the electrons in both places is called quantum entanglement, right? That through meditation, you lock in the material of your brain, right? Which is comprised primarily of carbon, right? That carbon has a particular subatomic structure, that the electrons of the carbon are behaving in a particular way, right? And right, the meditation of the adept, right? I shouldn't have to initiate everyone, but there it is. The meditation of the adept syncs up the disparate locales, right, from A to B, right? Like the pineal gland, the brain of the adept, right, is focal point A, right? And through meditation and trying to find it, it synchronizes itself with the atomic structure of B, wherever it may be. Is it a rock? Is it a statue? Is it a man? Is it a woman, right? Is it a bodily organ, etc., all these things, right? Like that's what's actually occurring, right? And so, right, you can heal the sick, and far easier, you can destroy anyone. Like, comment, subscribe, share, know what's good in your life, uplift your soul to God, which is not a creature, it's an abstract intellectual quality.